Hello, welcome back to Yoga with Cole. Quick tips. A few weeks ago, I talked about using blankets and towels to help aid you in your yoga practice. And today, I'm going to show you how to use blankets and towels in some common yoga poses, about 3 common yoga poses that are done in almost every class. So this will be very beneficial to helping those of you who are a little apprehensive about getting down on the floor for yoga on certain poses like the one I'm doing now, which is called bound angle. I also posted a poll not too long ago asking the group, what are your most problematic areas that you want to address with yoga? And a lot of you mentioned lower back and hips. And so what I'm going to show you today is going to be very important in supporting your lower back and your hips through poses like bound angle, corpse pose, as well as child's pose. So I have with me, I have a towel. I have one of my kids' blankets because I have a house full of comforters, not a house full of blankets. And then I have another blanket that I got from my mother. She's never getting back. And what I'm going to do with these is show you how to make this more comfortable. So first thing I'll show you, since I'm facing you, I'll show you how to make this more comfortable in this way. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just folding my towel to give me some more width. You want to look to get about the same as your yoga block, if you have a yoga block. So for me, this towel needs to be folded one more time. It's a little small square. So if you need more or wider, I'd suggest a larger blanket because we know some of us got more in the hips than the others, and that's good and that's cool. So I'll take this, I will fold it over one more time just to give me a little more width. I'm going to put this on my mat, actually under my butt, and instantly my lower back feels better because this morning I am experiencing some tightness in my lower back. So this gives me instant leverage, instant support in my hips, in my waist, and in my lower back because I'm elevated off of the ground. But look here, my legs are not supported, and this is problematic for a lot of people. And so what I do is I take my other blanket, fold that about the same width as a yoga block. I'm supported. I take my bigger blanket. I don't have to fold that one because that's a bigger blanket. Place that under my other leg, and not only am I supported in my lower back and in my waist, I'm supported in my legs. And even though traditional bound angle isn't difficult for me, this is way more comfortable than just being in a seated, straight, upright position and not having this support. So that's one way that you can support yourself. And I'll show you the same thing, but from a side angle. So I'll take and just rotate my body, crossing my legs, taking my larger blanket, placing it under my right leg, and my other blanket and under my left leg. That's it. That easy. And I instantly, again, I feel supported. You want to make sure that this is in a good position to support your lower back and your hips, your waistline. If it's not comfortable, don't do it. You don't have to have anything to sit on if this gives you more comfort. So you're going to get instant comfortability from supporting your legs, but you're going to get added support in supporting your lower back. All right, so that's bound angle. Another way that we can change up Savasana or corpse pose, which is done at the end of pretty much every yoga class because that's your point of meditation, is to go into a position that's called downward facing rest. And in downward facing rest, you use your 3 blankets, I like to keep the folded part facing me, and this is going to be the foot of my mat. I'm going to take my towel. If you have 3 blankets, that's fine. I just don't have 3. I have blankets and a towel. If you have blankets and a towel, so you just have 3 towels. Use your towels, same way that I'm using these blankets. Place one towel at the head or blanket at the head of your mat. And then this one, instead of having it folded 3 or 4 times, I'm just going to fold it this one time to have a smaller or much smaller width. It's about half of a yoga block. I'm going to place this in the middle of my mat. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this bottom blanket, and as you can see, I'm using my toes to secure this blanket between my ankles and my calves, or shins, because it's really not your calves. And then you just lay forward, making sure that this middle blanket is in a good position to give your midsection support, or your waist support, which I feel supported now in my waist. And this is your pillow. You can fold it over some more and rest your head. And this is downward facing rest. And this is a good position for meditation and mindfulness practices, but it's also a good position to focus on some deep back breathing, which is very good for relieving back pain and back tension. And I'm sure you notice that my back rises. With these breaths and not my midsection. And that's what happens in deep back breathing. And you'll probably notice more if I were to move that down. So that is downward facing rest. You can also go into a traditional corpse pose, being supported by the same format, so to speak, of having your towels on your mat, and just roll yourself over. I like to bring the blanket closer to the top of my leg, making sure that this middle blanket is at the bottom of your back, right in between that butt and back, because that's where you're going to need that support. Lay your legs down, bring your pillow up, and relax. And that's a traditional corpse pose. You can have your hands down, you can have your hands on your belly. That's up to you. But you're supported in your neck, you're supported in your waist, you're supported in your legs. Another way that we can use our 3 blankets to support us in common yoga poses is to use them the long way, and that's in child's pose. So in child's pose, what I want to do is I want to take my big blanket, and I'm going to fold this 3 times because I want to create maximum width with that one, and I want to do the same with my other 2. So this blanket, shout out to my cousin Lynn who gave my daughter this blanket. It's a beautiful blanket. And once you get these folded 3 times the long way, you're going to notice I've created somewhat of a bed-like structure. And what I'll do is I'll take this, easily move that to the middle of my mat, bring it into or in between your legs. You can roll this part down, create like a pillow. And in child's pose, what you do is you push your butt back and your hands forward. So you push your butt back down to your ankles, your hands forward for a stretch. And you lay, and like I said, you can pull this back some more. This is going to give you support in your lower body, but it's also going to support your head in rest. Another way to support yourself in this position, because sometimes just space here is difficult to maintain. And so I want to take this larger blanket. I'm going to leave these here because I'm still being supported by these. But this larger blanket, I'm going to fold that now over 3 times this way and then this way so that I have double thickness. So this is about the width of 2 yoga blocks. Take this, place it right in between your calves and your thighs. Sit back. Is that comfortable? Great. And then from this position, all you need to do, I should say, is just push your hands out. Roll this up. And rest. And now we're in another state of rest. But we're also supported. We're supported here in our hips, our thighs. We create that support there in our midsection. And then we're also creating support for our head. And that's how we can use blankets and towels to support ourselves through some calming. And look, I didn't move this blanket and I can still keep it there to sit in this position, which is a typical yoga seated while someone's talking position. And if not, it's cool. If you don't need to use blankets, you don't need to use blankets. You don't need to use towels, you don't need to use them. And that's great. But for some of us, we do. And this is how. If you have questions, comments, feedback, leave it in the comment section. I'll also post this to my YouTube channel. And I will see you guys later. Thanks for your time. Namaste.